are proud to pick Gauthier.
He is the biggest fraud in this country.
I'm extremely excited to be a part of this organization, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. Yeah, I think 1 year in NCAA, and then I'll be ready to play in the National Hockey League and help Philadelphia Flyers win a Stanley Cup in the near future.
I don't know Cutter from a hole in the wall.
Gauthier just played his first career game in Philadelphia, and just about the entire stadium let him have it.
Can you tell who just hit the ice, Boosh? There's the guy who just hit the ice.
Not only did the fans lay into him, but the Flyers took exception too and made sure that he was not welcome in the Wells Fargo Center. But why is this even happening? Why is there so much hatred for a 20-year-old kid who's just played 43 games in his NHL career? Well, to answer that question, we have to go back to July 7th, 2022 for the NHL entry draft in Montreal. This draft was already historic for many reasons. For one, Juraj Slafkovský would go first overall, and that would make him the first Slovak-born player to be drafted in that position. And he was followed by yet another Slovak in Simon Nemec, and that would obviously make them the first Slovak players to be selected with the 2 top picks. But an almost bigger shock than that was when Shane Wright dropped down to 4th overall, and if you guys weren't following that year's draft, that's not exactly where he thought he would go, or where anyone thought he would go. Then right after that selection, Danny Briere and the Flyers took the stage. This was a very important draft for Philly as they were trying to bolster their prospect pool to prepare for the rebuild. Their team was already filled with young talent, so to add one more top 5 pick would be huge, and there wasn't really any better player available at the time than Cutter Gauthier. Gauthier impressed scouts during his 2 years with the US development team, and in the 2021-22 season, he played 54 games with the U18 team and scored 34 goals along with 31 assists, ending the season with 65 points. The year before, he played 44 games with the U17 team, where he scored 20 goals and added 17 assists for 37 points. Both the Flyers and Cutter seemed pretty happy about the selection. After the draft, Gauthier talked about how excited he was to be in the organization.
I'm extremely excited to be a part of this organization, and I can't wait to see what the future holds.
How exciting the future looks, and that he just wanted to help bring a Stanley Cup to Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think 1 year in NCAA, and then I'll be ready to play in the National Hockey League and help Philadelphia Flyers win a Stanley Cup in the near future.
And he even said that he was built to be a Flyer, and at 6'3" and over 200 pounds, he couldn't be more right. He fit that Broad Street bully reputation that the Flyers have held for decades perfectly. He plays a hard-nosed style of game and is about as close as you can get to a modern-day power forward. Philly seemed to be a great fit for a player like Cutter. After the draft, instead of springing into the NHL, he joined Boston College to play in the NCAA, and he lit it up during his freshman year. He was named a Hockey East third-team All-Star player and a unanimous pick for the Hockey East All-Rookie team, and he quickly proved himself as one of the league's top newcomers. He earned Hockey East Rookie of the Month honors twice in November and February, and led his team with 37 points in 32 games, scoring 16 goals and adding 21 assists. Tied for second in the league with 7 power play goals and ranked 3rd in goals per game. He also represented the United States at the 2023 World Juniors, where he put up 10 points in 7 games, helping the US get the bronze medal in a win over Sweden. This was a pretty strong start to Cutter's time as a Flyers prospect, and he continued it by representing the States at the World Championship, where he led all U20 players with 10 points. And although he was tearing up every single game he played in April of 2023, he chose to return to Boston College for his sophomore season. This really wasn't a big deal at the time though, as it was understood by both parties that this decision was most likely the best one. It gave Cutter another year to dominate college hockey and another year to play at the World Juniors. Everything was fine with the Flyers' top prospect and the organization, but that was until the first red herring popped up. Cutter refused to come to the Flyers development camp over the summer. At first, Briere came out and attributed the declined invitation to the fact that Gauthier had played so much hockey throughout the year. He had his rookie year in the NCAA, he had the World Juniors, and he had the World Championship. So a mix of a ton of hockey and a ton of travel is what kept him away from the camp. Cutter then backed that up and said that he wanted time with his family and that this in no way changed his commitment to the Flyers. He even went a step further and said he would love to sign his entry-level contract once his collegiate season was over. But that's just what the public knew. Behind closed doors, it was made known that Cutter Gauthier did not want to be a Flyer. Now, this was shocking because just over a year before this, Cutter was talking about how excited he was to be a part of the team, so I guess not. The season went on and Cutter was dominating the NCAA, earning his spot on the World Junior team yet again, where he put up 12 points in 7 games and won the gold medal. But one thing he did not do while at the World Juniors is talk to the Philadelphia Flyers. During the tournament, Briere and Flyers president Keith Jones went over to Sweden to talk to Gauthier and convince him to reconsider his decision and hopefully join the team in its future. However, Gauthier just flat out refused to meet with them. This made Briere start thinking about trading him, especially since Gauthier played so well in the tournament, which would obviously raise his stock. And then on January 8th, 2024, Cutter Gauthier was traded after the Ducks reached out with a great offer. They sent over Jamie Drysdale, a 21-year-old stud defenseman and former top 10 pick in the draft, and a 2025 second-round pick. And what was the Flyers' reaction to this? Actually pretty respectful. I'm joking, it's Philadelphia.
He is the biggest fraud in this country.
The kid doesn't want to be there, hasn't played an NHL game yet, so he's thinking he's something else to call where he can be playing. And
I don't know Cutter from a hole in the wall. You know, so, and I'm not too interested in talking about him.
Guy hasn't played a game in Philly, and he ghosts them at the World Juniors and says, actually, I don't want to talk to you.
Carter, we hate him. He's a he ain't gonna do nothing in Anaheim. Him.
Gauthier got tons and tons of backlash from Philly and Philly's fans, which was pretty much expected considering the reputation that Philly has, and he instantly became a wanted man in Philadelphia. Even amidst all the chaos though, Gauthier finished the college season pretty strong. He led the NCAA in goals with 38, he was a finalist for the Hobey Baker, and he helped BC win the Hockey East. After college season was over, he signed his ELC and made his debut with the Anaheim Ducks against the Golden Knights and put up an assist. Gauthier then made the team out of camp the next season, and he was among the top rookies coming into the NHL. Aspirations were high, and he was thought of as an early Calder Trophy candidate, but he didn't really get off to a great start. Sure, the Ducks are pretty bad, but Gauthier just wasn't performing how he was expected. Through his first 15 games, he put up just 5 points, all being assists, which is pretty concerning considering he is known for his shot and his goal scoring. Then on November 15th, he finally put in his first goal.
Here's a pass ahead. Gauthier scores! There it is, the weight of the world falling off his shoulders.
He followed that game up with a goal and an assist in the next one, but the game that he was really excited for, the one that he said he circled on his calendar, was December 28th against the Flyers in Anaheim. The date came and it was pretty underwhelming. Gauthier just put up 0 goals, 0 assists, and took a penalty in a 3-1 loss. But 7 games later, the real test would come. Cutter's first game in Philadelphia. This wasn't just some normal regular season game against the Anaheim Ducks. The Flyers knew who was coming into the building and that the energy was going to be high. The chants started pretty early. Before Gauthier even took the ice, Cutter was being chanted throughout Wells Fargo. Then he took the ice for his first shift, and the stadium rained down with boos.
A warm welcome? Yes.
And those slowly turned into "F you, Cutter" chants. And to rub salt in the wound, Drysdale would score late in the first period, causing a Jamie's better chant to start.
A goal like that can really help. He had not scored in 26 games.
Gauthier heard this all night from the fans, but even the players got involved. Konechny had some words to say with him, supposedly threatening to fight him. He was pulled into a scrum that he looked pretty uninterested in, and even received a nice sucker punch from Scott Lawton. The game went even worse than the first matchup for Cutter. He put up goose eggs on the score sheet and was a -1 in the 6-0 pummeling. So in the 2 outings against the Flyers, Gauthier has done absolutely nothing, which I'm sure makes Flyers fans pretty happy, and knowing Flyers fans, Gauthier is going to hear it from that crowd for the rest of his career, no matter what team he's on or what sort of player he turns into. He will always be a wanted man in the Wells Fargo Center.
He is the biggest fraud in this country. Let me tell you.